Before you hop into a game, it's important to make sure that you have the correct settings. So in this video, I'm going to show you the best ones for hitting, pitching, and fielding. We're going to start out with fielding, which is actually a new thing that you can do in custom practice. And the way the dynamic throw meter works this year, definitely important to start practicing it before you hop into your first game. Otherwise, you're going to throw a lot of balls in the next stance. 100% speaking from experience. So now we are in fielding practice. We don't got to do anything. The pitcher's going to do everything, and then we just field the ball and we can make throws. But you already see, I fucked up and made a bad throw. We're going to try one more. But definitely, oh my god, don't even need to do it. But it's definitely important to hop into practice and at least get a little bit used to the new throwing meter, because I'm telling you, it's difficult. And the cool thing about it is you can kind of choose the situation if you want. You can have a guy on first and third, say I want to work on churning double plays, or I kind of want to work on throwing the guy out at home. Don't even get that opportunity. But BA is going to cut him at third, and we actually made a good throw. Wholesome, not even close. Can do counts, runner stealing, basically any scenario you can think of. But now let's talk about the settings that you should be using. It's going to start you off right here at the general. You're going to press R1 to go over to control, and then use the L2 and R2 button to switch up between offense, defense, player lock, and then the defense is going to be both pitching and obviously your defense. Defensively, the only things you need to worry about are these bottom 5 right here: throwing interface, accuracy chevrons, throw canceling, catch position indicator, and dive jump. These are all just my personal preference, but I think they're the best one. Throwing interface is really the only thing that I 100% recommend you doing what I have, and that's button accuracy. This gives you the throw meter. I feel like anything MLB related, you're gonna want to have the most control possible, but if you switch to button accuracy, or you switch over to buttons, for example, where there's no meter, you're putting everything into the CPU's hands, so you're gonna see a lot of RNG bullshit. Definitely don't recommend that. You don't want to all of a sudden get a button, throw it to first, and you allow the game-winning run to score because the CPU fucked you over. So don't do that. 100% leave this on button accuracy. It's gonna give you the most input on the final decision of the play. Accuracy chevrons, these are gonna be on the throw meter. This is new. It's gonna be that little yellow bar that you see, which essentially is gonna be the accuracy of the throw. So if it hits that yellow, it's going to be a ball in the dirt. Then it's going to rely on your first baseman's picking ability. You don't need to have these on, but I at least like having the visual of seeing that yellow marker, so I do prefer having them on. You know what? Move my big ass head out of the way. Throw canceling is another thing. 100% have what I have. You want throw canceling on. So this way, if you do make a bad throw, all you got to do is press another button. So say circle, for example, press circle again. It'll cancel the throw. Saves you from making an error. Or, you know, a lot of people like to do running cheese, where they'll start running as soon as you wind up your throw and end up scoring because of it. You can cancel your throw and then throw them out. Catch position indicator, this is all preference. I have the drifting ball. I hate the trackball one where it basically has that blue line that kind of tracks you to the ball. I just prefer having the baseball where it's gonna land, so then I can go after it. So drifting ball, 100% where I'm at. And then dive jump, have this at 2 buttons. 1 button doesn't make sense. Essentially, this is just what you use to jump and dive for a ball. So I guess 1 button, if you press like L1, R1, it's gonna randomly jump or dive for you. Doesn't make sense. Just have it at 2 buttons. So those are the fielding settings that I use. And then once again, recommend just going into custom practice, turning the difficulty up a little bit, maybe to like Hall of Fame or something, just so you can get used to the throw meter. And then definitely try out some of these changes, especially with that dynamic throw meter. You'll see that they're just hitting balls to the right, and you see, all right, fucked up. So definitely important to go in, try. It's gonna save you a ton of errors. Right here, we'll show you the throw meter. We're going to try gun him home. I am not even close on the throw, so it's going to be way off target. But that throw meter is going to give me the most input on where the ball goes. So I at least have a chance at throwing a guy out. I at least have a chance throwing it out at first. I'm not leaving it in the hands of the CPU. Drift ball indicators, this little borrowed marker right there. Dude, I'm like 0 for 10 on throws. This is why you practice. We're going to have them hit a grounder here, and then I'm going to show you throw canceling so the ball's hit. And I made a bad throw. So now I'll just press circle again. It'll cancel the throw. It would save me an error. Once again, have it hit a ground ball. Say I fucked up. Nope, we'll have him cancel, just touch second, get him out there. So those are all the settings that I use for fielding. Definitely recommend at least using the throw canceling and the throw meter, then hopping into practice. Definitely try it out because it's a bitch to get used to. Let's do hitting now. Hitting wise, there's so much customization that you can do with your PCI and everything. But swing input, have it be buttons, so essentially it's going to be X normal swing, square power swing, circle contact swing. Analog flick, I absolutely hate. Same with stride. It just doesn't make sense to use any of them. Just stick with buttons. Hitting interface is also another one that I definitely recommend using zone. This is going to be this big yellow thing right here moving around. Kind of like what I said with the fielding tips is you want to make sure you have as most control over the situation as possible. That little yellow thing for zone basically replicates the bat. Even though they say it's not, it basically is. So if you square up a ball with that, it's definitely going to have the best result, whether it be a perfect home run, base hit, double, something like that. PCI anchor is new. I definitely have this on at preset. I like having it rest kind of in the upper corner, so I can just chill pitches right up here if I want to. And then you can customize it a little bit. Just basically whatever is most visually appealing to you helps you out the best. I don't change it because I don't care too much. Just make sure you have the PCI anchor dots on, and then you can change it to whatever you want it to look like. Plate coverage indicator. This is the PCI. Once again, it's this yellow thing here. If you have this off, you're still gonna have the PCI, you just can't see it. Like for example, the PCI, I'm moving around, you're still gonna have to move around hit, you just don't see it. Especially if you're newer to the game, make sure you have the PCI on. Then once you get more comfortable, if it's just annoying having that extra visual there, then you can turn it off. But then after this is where you can really get customizable of what you want to look like. We got the center dots. I have it at circles. I like having the circles match up with a circle ball. Just makes most sense for me. You also have multiple kind of like circles of the PCI. We got wedge, basic, fishbowl, nothing, starfighter, a lot of different options. I just keep it at basic for right now, but usually when I struggle, I change all these, so I never have the same PCI for more than a couple months. Outer is basic as well. PCI color, you can choose what you want to look like. I like having yellow. It's not too distracting, doesn't distract my eyes too much. Black, I feel like definitely does. Same with all these other colors. I'm just very used to seeing yellow at this point because it's the one I've used for like 2 years now. Then transparency, you don't want it at 100%. That's just too distracting. It's gonna take away a lot of different things to see. I'd recommend 70, 60, maybe even 50%. I have it at 70 because I'm blind as fuck anyways. And then you can have PCI fade out. I have it at none. But once again, all this stuff is customizable. This stuff, you can really just do what is visually appealing to you, what helps you out the best. And like I said, once you struggle, switch it all up because switching your PCI definitely helps you out. Specifically the PCI center. We got circles, diamonds. They also added a new bat one, kind of proving the point that the PCI replicates the bat, so now it's almost like you got a bat here, which is pretty freaking sick. And then once you change your PCI, before you hop into a game, make sure you go into practice and test it out. It's going to be the same with everything. You want to practice all these settings. You don't want to be your first time using it to be in an online game. Go into practice mode, play on Hall of Fame or Legend, just to get used to some different pitch speeds, different pitches, and not even just to get used to your settings. You should do this before you hop into any online game. I promise you, you just play significantly better, especially if you get used to laying off pitches. Then once you hit a ball and you feel like your timing's at least decent, I'd say do this for like 5-10 minutes, then you're good to hop into a game. Then last off, we got pitching. Pitching, leave it at pinpoint. This gives you a chance to absolutely dot the hell out of somebody. Pinpoint's this little thing right here, so you can make a nice little drawing. With this, you definitely notice the most control on your pitches compared to poles or analog. Definitely stay away from meter. Meter's probably the easiest one to do, but you generally have no idea where that pitch is going. I used analog for the longest time before pinpoint came in. I'd still notice my pitches never went exactly where I wanted them to, and I leave a lot of stuff hanging. Where pinpoint, if I can get it down, I can get a perfect on it. Pitch generally stays in the vicinity that I want it to go. The pitching ball marker, this just depends on you. I always have it on pitching trail. I kind of like seeing where the pitch's final location's gonna end up. So for example, it's this red line right here. It shows me the movement of the pitch and where its final spot's gonna be. And that's really all it is for pitching. Pinpoint, if you've never used it before, it does take a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's really freaking good, man. And one thing I forgot to mention about hitting and both pitching is the camera view. This is like the most important part of both of them. Hitting view, I use strike zone, and I use the same thing for my pitching view. Hitting wise, I just like being super close close to the plate, it just helps me decipher if it's going to be a ball or strike better because I'm blind as fuck. Or if I use something a little further out, like offset or something like that, I just have a hard time reading the ball, picking up the velocity on it. I'm always late on everything. And I've just catch myself swinging at just about everything. Where this, I feel like I'm a little bit more patient. Hitting view, just use what you're most comfortable with. But pitching view, I highly recommend using the exact same thing you do for hitting view. One thing that I've kind of noticed since I started doing this is that it's helped me pick up the ball a lot better when I'm hitting. So for example, I'll be able to tell better if it's going to be a ball or a strike when I'm up the bat, and I catch myself feeling a lot more comfortable. I know a lot of people when they first start the game have a very hard time at becoming patient. Try this out and let me know that if it helps you on offense. Kind of picking up where the ball is going to end up. This way you're just kind of used to the visual. You're used to seeing these different pitches break from a batter's perspective, but there's no pressure on you to make contact with it. It's helped me become patient. Hopefully it helps you out as well. But those are the settings that I use for hitting, pitching, and defense along with the camera views. There's some that I feel like are more valuable than others, like making sure that you have buttons on, the thrill meter, using pinpoint and the PCI, just basically having as most say in the output as possible. You don't want to leave it up to some RNG bullshit on anything. But let me know if these settings helped you out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.